What's going on, everybody? Welcome to customsofoz Garage, and today we're going to get started on the Mustang project. So what I have here is a 1989 Mustang GT. I've had this car for about 4 years now. Been through a lot of changes with it, and I've decided that this is going to be the project for this YouTube channel. So there's been some work done to this car. As you can see, it's not all stock. So it's got some 18-inch wheels. It's got the 1994 Cobra front brakes. 5-lug conversion, got disc in the back. The body's pretty much stock other than the hood. So what we are going to do is we're going to take this Cervini's 93 Cobra kit and install it on this car. But in order to do that, the factory GT ground effects are held on with all these clips that are they've got rivets holding them on. And the Cervini's kit is going to attach with double-sided tape and screws. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is get those clips off. And then also here in the back, the stock GT bumper had these little brackets that are pop riveted on to the bumper support. So we're going to have to drill those out and remove those. If you got an LX car and you're putting this kit on, you're not going to have those brackets. But since this is a GT, we're going to have to remove those brackets. So let's get set up and take them off. So here's a better view of the bumper brackets that we're going to have to drill these rivets out. As you can see, there's a rivet there, and then the same on the other side. There's a rivet right there. So we're going to get a drill and drill those rivets out and get rid of these. All right, so I got a drill and I got a bit. Ended up going with a 3/8 drill bit in order to get this rivet out. So I'm going to stick it up in there and drill it out. And my battery died. Isn't that something? Rivets out, but that's all set. That's ready to go. So the next thing we got to do, got the Cobra bumper up here next to the GT bumper, and there's this little metal brace that goes all the way along the bumper. It's got the bumper studs in there, so that's going to have to come off and go on to the Cobra bumper. Alright, I got the Cobra rear bumper bolted on. Looking pretty good so far. Now I'm gonna have to jack the car up, pull the back tires off, and get these 2 screws in. So the 2 screws is what's gonna hold that bumper up against this quarter panel like that. And then along the top side there, Cervini supplies double-sided tape. So after everything's painted, bodywork's done, all that good stuff, double-sided tape will go in there, and that's what's gonna hold that up tight against the quarter. But for now, I'm gonna get this tire off. I think I'm gonna have to drill 2 holes because these holes don't really line up with the factory ones. So we're gonna do that and get the screws in. All right, so we got the tire off on this side, and these 2 holes and this quarter panel were able to work with the Cobra bumper. So I did not have to drill new holes there, but over here on the driver's side, I am going to have to drill. No matter what I do, those factory holes are off. So I'm going to get an 1/8 inch drill bit, get this bumper lined up where it needs to be, and then drill through the bumper to make a new holes. And then I'll get the screws put in there, and that should do it for the back bumper. Looks pretty good. Now, if you guys buy this kit and you're going to put it on one of your own cars, like it's going to take some work. It's going to take some body work. As you can see right here, like this, if it'll focus, this line right here is not the best. Going to take some sanding and body work along that edge. There's some other spots too that are going to need a lot of body work, but for the most part, pretty good quality, good stuff, looks awesome. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay on the back here and I'm gonna work on getting the spoiler mounted. So in order to mount the spoiler, I'm gonna have to drill new holes in this hatch. And Cervini's gives a little template type thing that you tape to the bottom of the new Cobra spoiler, set it on there, and then you can tape that to the deck lid or the hatch, pull it off, and it's a drill guide. So we're gonna do that, we're gonna get that set up, and I'll show you guys what that's gonna take. The Cervini 93 Cobra rear spoiler. So we're going to talk about how we're going to mount this thing. So they give you these plastic drill guides, and we're going to put those down in the holes for the spoiler, put a little piece of tape there. Once we get all those in, then we're going to take the Cobra spoiler and go over to the hatch, set it on there. Once we get it on the hatch, we'll put masking tape on these plastic drill guides, pull the spoiler back off, and then drill through these plastic guides. And then we're going to bolt it up. So I'm going to set the spoiler on here. So it's going to come this way a little bit. Still got to come more. So I'm trying to get the edge of the Cobra spoiler like right at the edge of the hatch. And I don't know if that's the way that the real Cobras have their spoilers on or not, but that's the way I'm going to do mine. It's looking pretty good right there. I'm going to go back with the masking tape and tape all these plastic drill guides down to the hatch. And then I can remove the spoiler and drill through the guides. All right, so I lucked out. So these front holes of the Cobra spoiler matched up the factory holes for the GT spoiler. So that worked out perfect. I can use those holes. I don't know if you can see it right there. That hole was already there for the GT spoiler, and they line up with the Cobra spoiler. So I have those 2 bolts in. So now I'm going to go back, tape these plastic drill guides down, and then pull the spoiler back off, drill the other holes. Then we can put it back on the car. All right, this is what the hatch will look like after you take the spoiler off. As you can see, here's all the drill guides taped to the hatch. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a 1/8 inch bit and run it down through that hole. And that'll give us our marks for where we have to make the bigger holes for the mounting hardware for the spoiler. All right, so got these holes done. Those holes right here, this hole right there and this hole right here are good. Because if you look under the hatch, you have access now to get the bolt in. But back here, you have all this metal here and you're not gonna be able to get the bolt in. So what I gotta do now is take a punch and go through that hole and dimple the underside of the metal so I can see where that hole needs to be. Once I get my mark there, go back underneath and drill a hole right there with the stepper bit. That's good. Perfect. Pretty slick. Alignment looks good. Got a nice edge there. Same on this side, nice edge, matches up pretty good. Just a little bit close on that side, but I did use the factory holes. So I'm debating on whether I move the spoiler around a little bit to get it to fit just a little bit better or leave it. I don't know. I'm undecided. And then also down here, I ended up using the factory holes for these two screws, and it looks like the bumper is going downhill just a little bit. That body line looks goofy, so I'm probably gonna end up taking those screws out, drilling some new holes, making it look a little bit better. But overall, pretty good fit. So the next step over here is to get this side skirt on. And I was talking about earlier, these factory Mustang GT clips are gonna have to come out. So all these rivets, I gotta drill those out, get those clips off, and then we can work on mounting this side skirt. So up front here is the front fender extension. I have it clamped on there with a C-clamp, lined up with the body molding, looks pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and mark these holes with an 1/8 inch drill bit, and right here on the rocker, it gets another hole that I'll have to drill, and that's how that piece mounts. And then we'll move on to the rocker molding and the quarter panel piece, and we'll get that mounted. Move down to this one right here. Okay, so that's it for that. That was pretty easy. Now we'll move on to the rocker. Everything's lining up pretty good, looks nice. I don't really like the way that this trim is right here where it meets the door. So I'm gonna sand the Cobra kit down a little bit. Right here, probably take a DA with some 80 grit, see if I can knock that down, make it line up a little bit better. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. All right, running into some more fitment issues. I'm gonna close the door, ground effects hit the bottom of the door. So I'm taking this DA and I'm running over the top of that, trying to knock it down. You can see a little bit right there. I finally got a little gap, got to do some more, but about the same all the way down the door. So I'm gonna have to sand that down so I have clearance. Otherwise, it's looking good. All right, guys, I did some sanding and I think I got it pretty good. And I noticed that this body line on the fender to the door, it looks like I could probably bring the door up a little bit more to get some clearance there in between the ground effect and the bottom of the door. So I'm gonna call this side skirt good for now and then possibly move that door up later to see if I can get that body line a little bit better. And when I do that, I should have plenty of clearance down there so I don't rub. So I'm gonna go on to the other side and get that side skirt on and we'll go from there. Okay, passenger side is on, and let me tell you, it fit a lot better than the driver's side. So now next thing is gonna be the front fender extensions, and this is an 89 car, so it's got the bigger, well, I should say smaller fender opening in front of the front tire there. And when you're running larger tires and wheels, you're gonna run into this problem where the tire is gonna hit the ground effect and rub off the paint. So on 91 and 93 cars, that front fender opening is bigger. So this Cervini's kit is made for a 91 to 93. It's got the bigger fender opening. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut out a portion of the front fender and push that in and re-weld. Alright guys, this is the last piece of the Cobra puzzle. This is the grill insert. So in order to put this on, we're going to have to cut this paper template out with some scissors. Once I get the template cut out, I'm going to take the Sharpie and put the template on the front bumper, tape it on there, take the Sharpie, trace it out. Then I can pull that template back off the car, and then I can cut my Sharpie lines out with either a body saw or, I don't know, I've heard some people using sawzalls, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. But for today, what I'm gonna do is just get that template cut out, get it taped on there, trace it, and then once I have my trace marks on there with the Sharpie, I'll pull the template back off, and I'm not gonna cut the bumper today. I'm gonna wait until I pull the bumper off of the car to make my cut, because this whole car is going to be taken apart. I'm going to have to do the body work to the ground effects, the bumper, all that stuff, prime it, sand it. I'm going to head back over to the bench and cut out my template, and we will get that taped on the bumper. All right, so I got my line traced on there, and that line is gonna be my cut line. So once I get the bumper off, I'll make that cut, get that grill out of there, and then I can install the Cobra grill. So on the back side of the grill, it's gonna have double-sided tape along the bottom edge, and I believe, I'll have to look at the instructions when I go to put it on, but I think they want you to put it here on the top too. So that'll go on after the bumper is painted, and the grill insert is painted also. They also give you the running horse. So that'll go in the center. And that's actually, believe it or not, that's actually a Ford part. I did not know that. So that is it on the Cervini Cobra body kit. Like I said, I'll put the grill insert later after the bumper is off the car and painted. And I never did weld these front fenders from when I cut them. So after I take the fender extensions off the car, I'll do the welding, clean that up. I still have to get the bottom screws in there. I never did that either. And we have a visitor in the shop. We got Shop Dog right here, Bronco. Hey buddy, what do you think? You like the Cobra? You like that? Does it look good? Bronco approves. So that is it, guys. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. If you like this video, give me a like, give me a subscribe. You're not gonna wanna miss any of this awesome content on this Mustang. Like I said, we're gonna be doing a full restoration on this bad boy. Full paint, engine, interior, suspension. If you like Mustangs, or if you like cars, customsofoz. See you on the next one.